If winter makes you feel more tired, less motivated, and like your fitness goals are just slipping away, you're not failing, and this is completely normal. I was actually sick for almost 2 weeks, had zero motivation, and this is exactly how I stayed consistent without forcing myself. In this video, I want to show you how to get fit in winter realistically and without burning yourself out. So usually the mistake is not losing motivation in winter, but it's expecting that you feel the exact same as you do in summer. I mean, there is less daylight, so you will have less energy to move, to be fit, be active, and that is to be expected, honestly. There's also more illness going around. Like I said, I've been sick for 2 weeks. I was in bed with a fever for at least 2 of those days. I would say for the whole of 2 weeks, I was sick and could not really work out. So that would mean that because of illness, there's more interruptions. Your fitness schedule, your plans, they get disrupted. You can't do what you planned on doing as much. I mean, summer has its own things. In summer, maybe you have more social events that you go to that are unexpected. But in winter, there's different kind of hardships while you're on a fitness journey. Your NEAT is also lower. That would be your non-exercise activity, which means you're moving around less because there's less spontaneous movement because it's cold out. You wouldn't go on a walk. When you're outside, you're just like there freezing and not really moving, trying to preserve body heat. That also burns less calories without you even noticing. So what I want to say with this first section is that your body or you are not lazy. They're just adapting to a different season. And you're better off working with this, knowing it, instead of working against it and just always blaming yourself and being surprised when this happens. This is the mistake that most people make in winter. You think that your plan breaks in winter, but actually your plan wasn't built for winter. You never considered how your day-to-day would look once it got to winter, maybe. And most people just transition into winter and try to do the exact same thing that they were doing in summer and wondering why they feel unmotivated and why it doesn't work. I mean, for example, you're expecting the same energy, the same output that you would in summer. But this all or nothing thinking of either I do exactly what I do in summer and I am perfect and I do everything, or I do nothing at all because it's winter, it's cozy, it's cold, and I can't do anything. That's exactly what's gonna mess up your plan, because usually doing the minimum required so that your plan still works, that's exactly what's gonna help you through winter. You don't need more motivation, you don't have to be perfect, you just need a different strategy. Now, how do I approach fitness in winter, and how could that help you as well? My winter goal usually is not to push harder or do more than I do in summer. It's actually to just stay consistent, doing everything that I can to keep the ball rolling. So usually this looks like maybe for fewer workouts outside for me specifically. I do not like the cold. I mean, I don't know who does, but like, when it's way too cold and it's snowy outside and it's icy and you can slip, I do not like going outside. I just feel like I love walks in summer. I love going on nature walks and just being outside in summer or in spring or even autumn, but winter walks outside are just way too, like, I can't do it. I mean, that will mean probably, at least for me, that my energy expenditure is gonna be lower in winter, but that's something that I'm aware of, and maybe I'll just walk inside instead. I don't really like doing that, so I don't do it too often, but when I want to do something and I have the urge to walk, I just do it inside because I'm not gonna do it outside in winter. That's just out of the question. You might be able to, but I don't like doing that. So I'm aware of that and I built that into my plan. Also, doing lower intensity workouts is still progress. Just because you're not doing everything that you usually do and just opt for like a yoga workout or just a simple walk on the treadmill or outside, if you like that in winter, it doesn't mean that you're failing. I personally like winter for gym workouts specifically because it's cold outside, you can't really do anything outside, and the gym is nice and warm. You can do your strength training workouts, you can go in and go back home, and everything just works for me in that way. So winter I like for that, because sometimes in summer going to the gym is almost like it's such a nice day out. I don't want to go and do strength training. I want to go on a walk. I want to go outside. So that's also something that I actually like doing in winter. But I think the most important thing to think about is what is realistic for you to keep up in winter. If you know that you don't like going outside and walking, even though you do that all the time in summer, but in winter you can't be bothered to do that, and you know it's not going to keep you consistent if you put it in the plan and you then don't do it, that's going to be much worse than already knowing and planning that you're not even going to put it in the plan. You have to put things into your winter plans that you know you're going to do. Don't set yourself up for failure. I also just have a few habits that I continuously do. These I basically do all year round, but it's always good to think about them. So protein, especially at breakfast for me, has helped me a lot with regulating my hunger and just knowing when I'm full and not having as many cravings at night. So that's something I'm definitely trying to keep up all year round, but especially in winter. Then also just doing the minimum amount required, that you still see progress. What I mean by that is you don't have to optimize everything. You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't have to do everything exactly how you imagined it all the time. It just needs to be good enough to make you see progress. So in winter, basically, you need to ask yourself, not how much can I do? Instead, ask yourself, what helps me not quit? I also want to talk a little bit about what success or progress actually looks like in winter. And it doesn't usually look impressive, but it's the reason why everything will feel easier later. For example, you have to try to reframe your expectations a little bit. Maybe instead of thinking that everything will go quickly and everything will go exactly how you want it to, slow fat loss progress is normal. It doesn't have to be so quick all the time, because usually when it's way too quick, it means that you're not going to be able to maintain it afterwards. So slow and steady, do the things that you're going to be able to maintain long term, and focus more on being consistent with your actions instead of the results that you're seeing. Because once you get consistent with what you're doing, the results will follow. So if winter feels slower for you, that does not mean that you're failing. It just means that you're human. You do not have to be perfect for this season. You just need to stay connected to your goals. And if you want to understand how I approach fat loss in a way that actually works with your body, I made a full video breaking that down. It's about calorie deficits, metabolism, and the mindset shifts that finally made fat loss sustainable and made me lose 13 kilos. I really hope this helped, and I hope that I see you in my next video. Bye!